morning, everyone. Welcome to Well Now. My name is Angie, and this show is about all things wellness, health, and hope. And I love to embrace all aspects of that in all dimensions, in all generations, and anywhere you want it to be. Today, I have a beautiful woman that I have known for a very long time. Danielle is a Sydney-based life coach. And Danielle began a writing career with Keeping Up with the Holsbys, and that were articles featured in many well-known Australian mags, online and in print. Danielle is a positive psychology coach, NLP practitioner, and the founder of Your Good Life. And really, she's here to inspire people to align, empower, and achieve their dreams, desires, and goals. I love Danielle. I met her over 20 years ago in London. We were working together. And she is a straight shooter as well. She'll tell you how it is, but her kindness and understanding is and her light just shines. And I'm so thankful that I know her. And although we don't connect a lot, I know that she's always there and just around. She is a mum of two beautiful kids, a beautiful soul. Danielle Colley from Your Good Life. Welcome to Well Now, and thanks for spending some time here with us.
Hello. Thank you for that beautiful intro. That was lovely. Thank you.
It's the truth. It's the truth. You are honestly a person that has impacted my life very deeply back then and continually throughout, just by being who you are and going through and sharing your life so openly with us online. That is Your Good Life now. And you used to share it online. Even with your articles when you're writing as Keeping Up with the Holsbys, they were also incredible articles that you shared. But today, we're chatting about feelings of certainty in uncertain times. But I know that you've been through sort of your own sort of journey, and obviously people can connect with you on yourgoodlife.com and just have a squiz at that. But also, really, what has brought you to this point? I understand that you were writing and now you're at Your Good Life and you seem so passionate about it. What is Your Good Life and how did you get to this space?
Sure. So I was a freelance writer, as you mentioned, and I fell into that when my marriage ended, talking about, a time of uncertainty. I was a mum. I had no money of my own. I had no job. And I had no qualifications. I had no idea what I was going to do. And that feeling of uncertainty right then is really similar to, I think, the very beginning of this COVID-19 crisis or pandemic that we've been experiencing, because it's the not knowing what is coming. What is that? How is this going to end? Right?
Yeah.
That is pretty much what is going on for so many people, is that uncertainty.
Yeah.
And for me, how I ended up there is I fell into writing. I knew that I could write. I had a parenting blog for a time. So being able to transfer those skills into freelance writing and getting, work with magazines and stuff like that was really fortuitous, because I could do it at my dining table with my kids at my feet. So I really did fall into it. But something happened along the way and I heard this little voice, and that little voice was telling me that there was something different. There was something more for me. And I was deeply unsatisfied with the work that I was doing. And I really believe in the ability to find satisfaction in what it is that you do. Like, I think that it's a human need to have satisfaction in what it is that you do. And I don't expect everyone to have their passion as their thing that brings in the money. But you need to have something in your life that really fulfills that need for, I guess, sort of passion and satisfaction and a sense of achievement. So for me, I really started to hear that voice. And when I ignored it, Angie, I got really sad.
Yeah.
I started to have that human breakdown. And it wasn't until I really took a few good steps back that I was able to, I had to, I literally took 2 months off work to work out what was going on with me. And that's when I started devouring books. I was devouring self-help books. I was devouring online courses and going to speak to people and going to therapy and doing all of the things, trying to work it out. with my head, of course. You
Yes.
work it out with your head.
Yes.
But it was through that time, right? We all know how sometimes you just need to work things out with your heart, but your heart takes a bit longer to listen to.
Yes.
But it was really the process. My father got diagnosed with terminal cancer, and I decided to pack my children up and go and move in with him in a very remote part of New Zealand. We're in Sydney. So we moved and we spent a couple of months with him and helped him transition from life through to death. And that process absolutely leveled me. It floored me.
Yeah.
In a brutal way, but also a really profound way, which led me on this path through my healing. So I did some kinesiology, which I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. How does that work? And so I was like, I'm going to go and learn kinesiology. And while I was studying kinesiology, I thought, okay, I don't want to do that, but I'm going to go and do NLP and positive psychology coaching. And so it kind of turned into this sort of really organic process. And suddenly I was like, oh, I found my thing, the thing that gives me the zing. It's like I have energy from this work. This work energizes me and fulfills me and satisfies me, because seeing people transform their lives is quite literally the most spectacular thing, because it gives people the belief in themselves that they can reach their full potential, do whatever they want, by releasing the crap from the past that's holding them back.
Cool. A definite journey of our own brings us to a point where we really need to kind of level up. And how we do that is usually, like you said, you just floored, you're leveled out, you're kind of gone, and you need to start building again.
That's right. We grow through the pain. We don't grow when times are cruisy.
No,
we grow when
like
things
the cruisy times, though. We like the cruisy times, but yes, the positiveness and the positive psychology, and it's not just about being happy every day, no matter what life is throwing you. But I keep seeing this post on Facebook and stuff is like, being positive or being happy. Doesn't mean you're happy every day, but it means you're able to cope through the shit or through the hard times. Absolutely. Because that's inevitable as life, in human life. And you said we have human breakdowns.
Yeah,
I love that you said that. It is a human breakdown, and we try and work it out through our mind, our thoughts and our That's just what we do, isn't it? We just try and work it out in our heads.
Yeah, we're thinking thoughters. We absolutely are.
Which is part of it. Which is part of the healing. But you're saying, obviously, the purpose, the passion, the satisfaction to this is what you're feeling now. Is some sort of, is it a purpose you're feeling? Is that what you're sort of feeling now?
Definitely. And I think that, there's so much pressure on people to have like a purpose.
Yes.
And
I know.
And I think it can be a little bit paralyzing. If I don't have a purpose, if I'm not Bob Geldof, if I'm not changing the world, what am I even doing with my life?
Yes.
But I don't think it's as simple as that. I think it's about being able to explore your curiosity, discover what gives you energy, discover things that ignite your spirit and your soul, and doing more of those. And when you sort of follow that path of curiosity, you give yourself the opportunity to potentially discover a purpose. But either way, you're living life on purpose. And I think that living on purpose, like that life by design rather than life by default, I think that is in many ways as powerful as that almighty purpose. I found my purpose. I'm living intentionally. I'm living on purpose. And that gives me satisfaction.
So you're saying on purpose is really just living day to day, and being intentional. It's not towards a goal. It's not towards anything in particular, although those are helpful, but it's about being on.
Look, I'm a huge fan of goals, right? So not necessarily big life-changing, world-changing goals, but imagine if you looked at every facet of your life and you put a little goal in there and you work towards that every day, right? So if you were like, okay, so for my health goal in the next 3 months, I'm going to, exercise 4 times a week. And then for my financial goals, I'm going to save $20 a week. And then for my relationship goals, I'm going to commit to talking to you. For my spiritual goals, I'm going to meditate for 10 minutes a day. If you create like a little wheel, and they don't have to be massive, time consuming, expensive goals, but if you create little goals in all of these facets of your life, imagine how different your life would be in 12 months. You adopt these habits, you adopt this sort of new expansive way of living and growth. And growth is really, so when I say I felt that little voice, I feel like one of the biggest things that was happening for me was I had stopped growing. I had stopped learning.
Yes.
So I was having like small achievements, but it wasn't the same as being stretched. And I think that what happens is when we're stuck, that's when we have that sort of human decay, right? We start to stagnate. So by having these small goals, small steps that we're taking regularly, learning new things, then we're constantly growing and evolving, which stops us from stagnating. And for me, like that is life. That is your good life,
Yeah,
is
cool,
to be
cool.
growing.
And I suppose, you discover this through the trauma, through
Yeah.
the pain, through
Yeah.
that sort of experience. And although, a lot of people with this feeling, creating feelings of certainty within uncertain times, this is the time that we can start creating those little habits, because some people are really struggling through this time.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's really shaken their ground, and it's really moved them to a space of total uncertainty, total instability, the fear financially, emotionally, all sorts of alleys.
It's
Kind of going, what
it's
the
enormous.
heck?
How long is this going to last? What is
Yeah,
life going to look like afterwards?
yeah,
Is
right.
my business going to survive? Is my relationship going to survive isolation? There are
Yeah,
so many uncertainties right now. And the irony is humans are the most adaptable creatures on the planet. Like we
yeah,
can live on the top of a mountain, we can live on a boat, we can live in the
love
ice,
it.
We
Yeah,
hate change. We don't like to adapt. So when something like this is thrust upon us, it throws us right into a tiz. So lots of people have been thrown off their balance, and there's a couple of things that we can do. So if you look at Anthony Robbins talks about the 6 basic human needs, and uncertainty is one of them, and a healthy way to get uncertainty is spontaneity, discovering new things, walking to work a new way, doing new adventures. There's that kind of
I love it. Yeah,
uncertainty.
yeah,
But right now, when we have so much of less resourceful uncertainty, like sort of like pressing down on our heads, we can combat that with the antidote of certainty. So the 6 basic human needs. Here's my test. Am I going to remember them off the
here we
top of
go.
my head?
Yes.
But it is, it's like certainty, uncertainty, maybe significance, contribution,
Right.
connection,
Yes.
and something else, right? I
Yeah.
probably
Okay.
should have
Yeah.
looked that up before I
Yeah.
started talking about it.
That's all right. All good. I'll look it up.
But for the sake of this conversation, I think, the antidote to uncertainty is certainty. Now, there is a lot we can't control here, right?
Yeah.
So freaking out about that stuff is going to lead to more anxiety, more overwhelm. Depression is setting in with people.
A lot of pressure.
So yeah, exactly. So how we can, like, we can't control what we can't control, right? So how long we're here for, don't know. We can't control the economics of the situation. We can't control what the death toll is going to look like, or whether we get it or not once we're doing the best that we can. There's so much that we cannot control. So that's like surrender.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. And then there's the certainty. You find what you can control, and you really take ownership of that like a boss.
Yeah.
Because that gives you back your power, by saying I'm completely helpless here, there's nothing I can do, and I'm just gonna like sit on the couch and eat soft scented chocolates and let like my whole life go to shit for the next couple of months. It's really going to put you in a position when this is over, and it will be over, like it's going to be over really soon.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
right, and
Yeah.
it's going to be a blip in history, and we will look back on it and be like, okay, I rode that wave like a boss, or I fully nearly drowned. and that's a personal choice. So that can seem a little bit hardcore for people who are really facing the uncertainty, the financial uncertainty and stuff, because that's a very, very real stress. But, understanding all of your entitlements gives you a bit of power. Some people are not even bothering because they're like, oh, the red tape of trying to find out my financial requirements, my financial entitlements, it's just like too hard. Okay.
Yeah.
Take some power and work out what you can do. We can also take control, Angie, in areas such as, our exercise, our nourishment, like what we're consuming. And I'm talking a little bit about food, but I'm talking a lot about media. Are we spending hours and hours scrolling on Facebook? And I can guarantee you everyone's social media consumption is like through the roof. How are you going on social media?
Oh, no, look, I've been okay, actually. Okay. Yeah, it's been really good to, disconnect from it. I give myself, like, I've taken most of my stuff off my phone, and so I connect to it, like, on the screen, or it's a purposeful action I do, and I have to go onto my computer, turn it on, and sort of check I've taken all my emails off my phone as well. I thought, blow this, I do not need to be distracted by a device. So it's just that small thing that helps me disengage from the constant looking at the phone.
Dude, you're already a ninja at this. Like you are you're
look,
in the minority. And I take my hat off to you, because knowing all the things that I know and having, all the insights and all the research and all the statistics that I have, I'm an addict, I'm an addict. I have to actively be like, put it down. Like,
right. But
this is not helping.
No, it doesn't. I remember, like, actually a couple of years ago when I was going through and transitioning, like, the trauma and processing all of that of the loss in my life and just loss in general. I found that I had to really delete all my social. I deleted everything. I took down my website. I took everything down, and I went into silence. And I found that really helped my brain space. It was really a space to clear out, clear out and center within what it was that you're saying, that, discover what gives you energy, what lights your fire. And so, I had to unravel to disassemble to reassemble.
Beautiful. I love that.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people, there are a lot of people now working from home, but were prior to. And there's a lot of mamas like yourself out there that are homeschooling. There's a lot of, some of these people have everything. Some of these people have lost their job. They've got their kids at home. They've got, possibly, abusive relationship or unhappy relationship. They've just got it all. And I know that you straight shoot. I like woo-woo talk. I like science speak, but I also like woo-woo. And I'm just going to say that, look, the space that wherever we are and wherever we found ourselves at this time is because that's the shit that needs dredging up and healed, in a sense. And it does take, God, it takes strength to say no more, or this needs to change. As you were saying earlier, we hate change. It's just ridiculous. Change is the only thing that is certain.
Yeah, and we will cling to something deeply uncomfortable, even painful, rather than head into the abyss of the unknown. And that is like a human protection mechanism. It really takes courage to go, oh, good, let's do this, and just and jump into that void. I really feel like this COVID-19 has not like added heaps of drama to our lives as much as it's put a massive magnifying glass. So as you say, like, it has highlighted what was already there, what was already not working. So if your relationship is strong and you're communicating beautifully, then you're smooth sailing through here, because if something arises, you guys have the communication tools to deal with it. If your children's learning and development is where you thought it should be, and then you're sitting down with them, some people are discovering that their children's learning development is, you know, that maybe the teachers had flagged that you know, their child needs more support in class, but now they're seeing their child needs lots more support in class. How can we now improve this situation out of here?
Yeah,
You know,
cool.
so it's about
Yeah.
like, you know, if your work situation was tricky when you were in the office, like have a look at it when you're working from home. You know, what is the support policy like? What are the, you know, how are they treating people? How is the communication amongst the teams? It's really magnifying everything. So,
Yeah.
you know, to have it, taking that moment to be able to say, right, okay, normal life is coming back soon, right?
Yeah, it
Do
is.
I want my normal life back? Because,
Boom.
right,
Really? It is.
right,
Seriously. Think about it, people.
yeah,
Think about it.
yeah.
Feel it out.
Yeah, because, you know, it's so easy to go back into like the rhythm and the routine when everything opens up again, when everything goes back to normal. And I don't think it's going to be normal for quite a while,
Yeah.
but everyone will fall back into that familiar pattern because it's comfy.
Yeah.
So it's about now being able to say, okay, actually, this relationship, it really needs work.
Yeah.
If we're going to, you know, stay together beyond. I've actually got a couple of clients who've split up during this time, and I have to say it's taking a toll. Like, it's difficult. It's even
Yeah.
more difficult right now, you know, than ever.
Yeah, of
Um,
course.
but a breakup is never easy. So,
No. Yeah, of course. And it is shining the light, the magnifying that what is not, serving you in this life
yeah,
or serving you right now. And it isn't easy. We're not just saying, jump out of your relationship or quit your job or, government says, you can all get back to work. You can all go and party, at 1,000 events and,
yeah,
it doesn't mean that we completely shift, but it does mean if you do, what I see is that if you are getting back into a routine, there's going to be a shift within you. And I think there may be with many people like you had and like I had, like the little voice saying, this is not satisfactory anymore.
mm,
But we've had the experience of having a different life. So what can I take from what, that it's the opportunity of COVID, which a lot of people are saying it is an opportunity. It is, of course it is, to take bits of the life of what you want in life and live on purpose, live the life that you wish
yeah,
to. Yeah.
yeah, yeah,
But what I was going to say, Danielle, is like obviously many people are saying that COVID is an opportunity, and that for some people hearing that would just go
yeah,
cringe and just hate that. Seriously, people that may be going through grief, people that may be going through severe anxiety or depression or a low, within this time. I mean, it's a little bit difficult to connect, but person to person and all the sort of things, but what are the what things can these people do, to help them feel a little bit more certain in a day-to-day sort of basis while we, ride this wave?
sure. Yeah, it is. It's definitely a rankler, like telling everyone that it's an opportunity.
A rancor?
A rankler, yeah, it rankles. It doesn't feel nice.
Oh,
But I do love the expression "never waste a good crisis."
okay,
So
I like
yeah,
it.
I feel like there are lots of opportunities for people, even just to take a step back and breathe for a minute.
Yeah,
Or whether it is reassessing or connecting with people they haven't connected with for a while. But a really good way to have some more certainty, like really practical stuff, is
yeah,
setting yourself up with a schedule in the day.
yeah.
Because if you have lost your job, or if you are in a grieving sort of situation, it's really easy to fall into like sort of that depressive malaise, which is, it's understandable. Sometimes we go there, just don't set up a tent there, don't hang out there too long. And then creating a schedule, so you, having a really good sleep routine,
Yeah,
and ensuring that you have good sleep hygiene, good sleep routine, getting to bed and waking up at a similar time every day, which is not 2 a.m. and midday. Giving your body optimum morning time before 10 a.m., I think,
yeah,
and say, okay, right, I'm going to go out and have exercise from this time to this time. I'm going to meal prep this time to this time. I'm going to connect with people this time to this time. We love the certainty. Children love routine. We
Yes.
love routine. So if your entire routine has been upended, it's really easy to like just go into the hole, you know. And even though you may not feel like you have the energy or the spark to get out of the hole, it's like the momentum will create the spark. You know, you need to start first, and that will create the momentum and create the energy. So, you know, there's various ways that you can move like energies through your body if you are feeling, you know, anxious, overwhelmed, depressed, grief, all of those big heavy ones.
Yeah.
And there's things like, you know, exercise is a huge one. Exercise outdoors, exercise by the ocean. Of course, you know, our life has changed so much with what we can and we can't do. However, I feel like there's been so much, so many people have thought really quickly. The word pivot has been thrown around a lot. So many people have pivoted, and they're like, you know, bringing their dance classes now to people for free. Bringing Pilates classes. If you don't feel like you have the energy to, you know, really get amongst it in that way, shape, and form, there is, you know, there would be like meditation classes. You know, going for walks outside is like that's like numero uno in shifting your energy. As is your personal favorite, putting on some music and having a boogie, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Shake that ass.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
But you know, it really is about taking ownership of where you're at, accepting what you can't change, and taking action on the other stuff.
Yeah.
You know?
Really, acceptance of where you're at, accepting everything about that, how you feel about it. It's cool to feel depressed. Not cool. It's cool that you're feeling that. It's okay.
There's no good feelings and bad feelings. There's just feelings. You know, some of them are less comfy than others. But the sooner you acknowledge the feeling, the sooner it can move through. So if you push it down and you like it, you know,
resist.
Yeah, exactly. You know, bring it through, talk about it, let it out, you know, and really seek help. There is so much help out there right now. There is so much help out there, whether it is, you know, through government bodies, whether it is through, you know, understanding your entitlements financially and stuff like that, whether it is speaking to your real estate or landlords or whatever for your business or your home. It's taking a bit of a more positive stance on all that sort of stuff, but also, you know, if you need support emotionally, reach out for it, because it's not like anyone in the world doesn't understand, you know. So I heard something really beautiful, which was, you know, everyone keeps saying we're all in the same boat, and we're not in the same boat. We're in the same storm. You know, everybody's boat is very unique to them, because some people are financially fine and enjoying a bit of a holiday, and other people are financially not fine and worried every day if they're going to survive this, if they can feed their children. You know, some people are isolated from loved ones who are sick and maybe not going to make it through this. And, you know, and some people have operations that have been put on hold because they're not, you know, seen as essential right now. And, you know, they're living with discomfort and pain. So nobody can understand anybody else's experience. But I think, you know, as always, kindness and compassion, have kindness and compassion for each other, for each other's journey, and really, you know, being able to
be kind to yourself, kind of.
Show that kindness and compassion to yourself. Yeah, perfect.
Because so many of us, speaking from experience, used to like to push down uncomfortable feelings, or wasn't even connected to feeling. I did all of my feeling or my life through my head, through through understanding others, through thoughts and analyzing and deconstructing and stuff, connecting to heart and allowing those feelings through, accepting them, acknowledging them, and saying it's all good, it's all okay. Still takes me a little bit of work, because I have been so used to just pushing them down and going, no, this is a bad feeling. And as you said, no good or bad feelings. They are what they are.
A lot of people have that. A lot of people are conditioned from a young age. You know, if you think about the patterns that we have, if you think about the way that we handle emotions, if you think about the saboteurs that we have in our lives, whether we
Mm.
are, you know, whether we procrastinate or we're hyper vigilant or we're like, whether we, all the different ways that we get in our own way. Um, all of these behaviors are really learnt in the first sort of 7 years of our lives.
Mm.
Like these patterns are really set. So, you're not alone in pushing your feelings away and stuff like that, because sometimes it doesn't feel like we're given adequate sort of emotional space
Mm.
to really explore them. Maybe as children or as we get older, certain experiences are like, oh, wow, okay, I'm just going to put that away.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
it really is a journey. And I know
Yeah.
it's another word that gets bandied around a lot, but it is a journey,
It
this whole
is.
self-discovery, self-actualization bit. It
Mm.
is absolutely a privilege because, if you look at, the hierarchy of needs or whatever, you've got your basic needs that need to be sorted. And then you've got things like, once your food and shelter and safety is sorted, then you can think about connection and achievement and stuff like that. So being
Mm.
able to go even higher and
Mm.
think about, why do I think the way that I think?
Mm.
How can I change the way that I think so that I can live a more fulfilling life? How can I be a better person? To be able to have those thoughts is a privilege, because that means the rest of your life is in a really good space.
Yeah,
Um,
cool.
so something that I talk about a lot with my clients is, what are you going to do with that privilege? What are you going to do with that opportunity? Because we really are the lucky ones. And so living a life that, you do have that little voice in the back of your head telling you that, it's you're really just existing. There is no adventure, there is no challenge, there is no real achievement. If you're happy with that, awesome. But once you've heard the little voice, it's because you're ready for something else. So, to ignore that, that's
Mm.
really, thumbing your nose at how lucky we are to have this opportunity to live this way.
Yeah, I truly, yeah, agree with that and think that's absolutely, yeah, beautifully said, because we do, to sit in that space of understanding and looking at our thoughts and going, okay, how do I live my life? How do I choose to live my life now? Is really quite a profound space to be living.
Yeah.
The We kind of, yeah, like we get into our heads, but you said a bit earlier, we have to think from our hearts, or get in touch with our hearts. And this is really, I mean, what is this really? Getting in touch with our feelings, isn't it? Is it because not only do we have the little voice in our head, but it's just the feeling of dissatisfaction, or the feeling of discord, imbalance, whatever it may be for someone. What is it? What does it mean to you to listen to your heart, or yeah? Do you make
Oh,
decisions through your heart, or through your, how do
I
you?
have to. I'm
Oh,
a work in progress. So I'm a really heady creature,
yeah,
and it's really
yeah,
easy for me to stay in that space and analyze stuff and like, what does that mean? Like,
yes,
what did they mean when they said that? And all that sort of stuff. So for me, I'm actively working on opening my heart, connecting to my intuition.
yeah.
I'm working with a coach who's helping me, with womb breath and connecting into my womb energy. Like, you want to talk about woo
Cool.
woo, like that stuff is out there.
Yeah, yeah, great.
um, um, and for me, like, I'm not a Zen goddess. I see these amazing earth
Mm,
mother type women,
mm,
and I am absolutely in awe of them. And then, I just, I swear like a pirate. I don't mind a glass of wine, um,
yeah,
and let me add a rack of ribs. So I feel
yeah,
like I feel like
totally.
I'm coming from a really different space when I'm trying to enhance my I guess my energetic abilities,
Yes,
and to be able to really connect into that heart space and intuition and all that sort of
yeah,
stuff. So, practical advice on how to do it: get out of your head more and get into your body more, and learn to listen
yeah.
to your heart, listen to your intuition. Mindfulness, mindfulness and
Mm,
meditation. being able to take pause.
Yeah.
Because we're also go, go, go. We're also busy all the time.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So,
yeah.
yeah. So really, if you're not an amazing meditator, and again, I'm doing 10 minutes a day, and 10 to 15 a day, and I have to really like concentrate. But I think the secret is nobody's really awesome at meditation. Like, there are some people who are like, I read Liz Gilbert, she was good, but it took her a while to
Yeah.
get
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
we are just mortals, I think, but it is about intentional daily practice
Yeah.
to be a little bit better, a little bit more mindful, a little bit calmer, a little bit more thoughtful, kinder than we were yesterday.
Yeah.
So
Beautiful.
yeah, we don't have to be earth Zen mothers,
No, we
or
don't.
Zen gods and goddesses. We can
No.
actually just be aware, self-aware.
Yeah, really. I think that's really important. We can't compare ourselves to others who are on this earth to be Zen mothers and to teach you how to breathe into your womb breath. Because that's their gift, that's their talent, that's where they're at. Some people's gifts are talking, some are dancing, some are whatever. So it's all about sort of acknowledging that you're here on this planet to find sort of what gives you, like you said earlier, discover what gives you energy, what lights your fire.
Yeah.
And it's not the same for everyone. And also intuition, I mean, and listening to your energetic system, understanding that. I mean, I've been working, that's probably the thing that I've been working with for the most of my life for over 20 years now. And it was the mental and emotional that got me the last few years. I had to understand that on a deeper level. And so linking it all together, it no matter whether it's emotional, physical, mental, or spiritual or energetic, whatever you want to call it, it all takes a little bit of practice and understanding.
Yeah.
And so wherever you're at on the journey with that, I believe it's just implementing little things every day to assist you on your way, and understand that getting in touch with your heart just doesn't happen like that. It's about listening to yourself, getting in touch with your body. I remember when I was listening to Headspace, that app.
Yeah.
So that I use that a lot going through, and it really helped me. And one of the things that they do on most of the meditations was the connecting to your body, because really that's what getting into your heart is. And all you would do, what I do most mornings, is breathe, and then you just, from your head all the way down, is just connect with your body. Just really imagine a light
Feel each different place.
Feel each different, and that's as simple as it can be.
Yeah.
About getting, and you can do that. You can do that every hour if you want.
Absolutely.
I mean, obviously.
Yeah. And I'm really teaching my kids as well, to manage their emotions by being mindful and having, the 5 and 5. So sitting down, taking 5 breaths, and then imagining, thinking of 5 things that you can feel, and then 5 things that you can hear, and just sort of breathing. 5 things of beauty that you can see, or 5 things of interest that you can see. And then you just sort of go through this process, and it just gets you out of all the zzz, and right back in. And this is the thing. You mentioned a moment ago about your spiritual self and your physical self and your emotional self. I think that what's really important that people realize as well is that we're not compartmentalized beings. So if you have a health problem, you have a spiritual problem. If you have a career problem, if you have a relationship problem, it's going to be impacting your work. We have human problems, we have human issues, human breakdowns, and an issue in one area of your life. You can't just stuff it away in a little container. You absolutely, it seeps into everything. So you got to face it. You got to look straight at the ugly stuff and the uncomfy stuff and the bits that aren't working so well, so that you can be the well-oiled machine. Get it all flowing.
Yeah, and it is a human life with all these aspects within us, but it is your boat as well. We're all in the same storm, as you were saying earlier, and it is not the same boat. So know that, it's really about embracing wherever you are in your journey and seeking helps, or doing whatever it is that you feel that you need, but become the seeker. I reckon it's about becoming a seeker. Reach out to things that would stretch you or you'd never think of in a million years.
Yeah.
I'm sure a lot of the clients that you have, because it's NLP coaching that you do, isn't it? The life coaching, Danielle. So they
Yeah.
come to you for, you know, to help with moving past, I suppose they come to you.
Yeah, so a lot of people come to me when they've already done quite a lot of therapy. Therapy is amazing. It has such an important place in our society. And sometimes it's the talking about stuff and the reliving it and going over all the feelings again. Sometimes it's not quite as dynamic as what works for some people. So, you know, I work with neurolinguistic programming, positive psychology coaching, and hypnotherapy. And like those three together it's a powerhouse. I really love the work, but I'm not finished. I want to go and learn more, learn more modalities and ways to help people in different ways with different issues. Because it is about being a seeker, continual growth. It's that continual growth piece that gives us this feeling of achievement, which is one of the pillars of happiness and contentment. But yeah, the working through, some of the traumas that people have carried for a really long time, and seeing that lift is just so satisfying for me. Like, it really is. I see people's faces physically change through the work that I do. And I just think, people become more beautiful when they aren't holding on to the pain and the sadness and the shame and all those things any longer. It's really profound work. And, somebody put on my social media yesterday that I'm really changing people's lives. And it does, absolutely. I'm not changing their lives. I'm giving them tools. They're doing it. But the thing is, they're changing my life as well. I feel like every person who I come into contact with and have the experience of doing my breakthrough program or any of my programs, any person that I come into contact with, we build this bond and this opportunity for this human connection, which is just they're changing my life every bit as much. And as I said before, it's so profoundly satisfying to know that I'm really living on purpose.
Oh, I love that, Danielle. That's beautiful. It really, you can see your passion and the love that you have behind what you're doing, and it's really beautiful. And thank you from everyone that has seen you and is your future clients, because I can feel it in my heart, and I feel very emotional, and that's because I know that it's the truth that you speak and that you love what you do, and it is changing lives, and you're living on purpose, for purpose as well, really. And everyone, whoever wants to get in touch with Danielle, if you want to check out goodlife.com.au.
Yourgoodlife.com.au, and you can also find me on Facebook on Your Good Life with Danielle Colley.
Yep, and Insta as well. And I'll pop those on the on the links.
Beautiful, thank you.
When these are all, when this is all popped on. So popped up.
Beautiful.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, once you pop, you can't stop.
Yeah, beautiful. Thank you, Danielle. Thanks so much for joining us on Well Now and sharing your wisdom and your journey, and help and allowing us to, peek into some of your life and what you're doing and how you're helping others, because it's truly wonderful to see. And I'm so glad to see you. I haven't seen you forever.
Yeah, it's been a while. Thank you so much for having me. It's been awesome just to have a chat. The only thing missing was a coffee. We really should have had a coffee.
Oh, yeah. Too early for wine, huh? Yeah.
It is for you, not for me. It's midday. Cool. All right. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much. And we'll chat again soon. Lots of love. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.